there, I'm Lara and welcome to my sewing channel where I am today going to be answering some questions based off of the this or that challenge. And so what that is that I was tagged by Erin Sews, thank you Erin, for picking me to partake of such a fun challenge. It was created by Julie at the Curated Curvy, and she had listened to a podcast where they had done something similar and she adapted it to YouTube, and it has been fun, so fun to get to see how all the people that I check in with weekly see what their sewing preferences are. Let's see, the first category is sewing prep, and so the first question is, do you like to shop new or do you like to shop your stash? And so I am trying really hard right now to shop my stash. I've been trying to do better about not buying things. However, I end up making things, clearing out some room, and then buying some new stuff because I find things on sale and I never can pass up a good sale. So yeah, so probably 50-50 on both. PDFs versus paper patterns. I like paper patterns. I like Simplicity, I like Butterick, I like McCall's. I do enjoy, I've branched out a little bit to some of those indie pattern companies or buying more PDF versions of things. And I don't enjoy taping everything together so very much. So if it's a small shirt, you know, I can do that. Otherwise I send them to PDF plotting, and it's easier that way. Cutting versus tracing. So for the first year probably that I was sewing, I was tracing things because I was afraid I would make the pattern wrong and then I would not have the right, like I couldn't undo it if I cut into it too small. So I was tracing everything, and it occurred to me it was taking me forever to do anything. And so probably when I started my YouTube channel and I actually started feeling the need to produce as well as learn, I figured out, you know, those $1.99 pattern sales, those are really nice. And so, and if you get a PDF pattern, you can just print it out again. So I quit tracing. I do still trace if I am making something for my kids because they're at the small end and they might still grow. Another thing about my sizing is that I'm on the large end of the smaller size range in most of the big four pattern companies. So if I cut an 18 or a 20, you know, if I go down, I go down, and I'd have to buy a new pattern anyway if I go up. So it's kind of, it's made it so that I feel very comfortable just going ahead and not tracing out patterns, especially for myself. Muslins or just going for it. And that is kind of along the same lines. When I started, I was like, I must make a muslin, get the fit right, make sure everything's okay. And then I realized I was making muslins, trying to make wearable muslins using fabric I didn't really enjoy, and I was ending up with some nice garments that I didn't want to wear because I didn't like the fabric. So I, again, realized I have been buying fabric either on sale, thrifting it, or getting it from Fabric Mart Fabrics, where it's inexpensive but it's nice. And we'll get to that in a little bit. So if I get it on sale, it can be like $5 or less a yard. And so I decided I was just going to throw caution to the wind and just make things that out of fabric that I want to make. So if it turns out that it's not quite right or not what I want, I will donate it and give it to somebody who does like it, or I'll reuse it like I did with the shorts, and that way I have a better chance of ending up with a garment that I want to wear. All right, so then the next big category is fabrics. The first one is, do you like to shop in-store or do you like to shop online? My preference actually is to shop in-store, but there is not really any place to shop in-store anymore in my area. I've adapted. I didn't like it, but like I said, I shop a lot at fabricmart.com, fabrics.com, and there's a lot of things, a lot of fabrics that I've gotten from there that are nice fabrics. They've been excellent wools. I've gotten some really nice chalets. Yeah, maybe the selection isn't like up to date with the current patterns or whatever, but a floral's a floral in my mind. So you can even get some of the designer fabrics. They're just not as inexpensive, and I don't like to pay that much money, so I'm cheap at heart, I guess. I've gotten to be more of an online shopper. I don't buy expensive fabric online though. I don't shop at Mood. I don't shop at Blackbird Fabrics. Maybe now that I'm more comfortable with my abilities, I might start venturing into getting some really nice fabric. We'll see. That might be in my future. But right now, yeah, fabricmartfabrics.com is where it's at for me. I also have found it's kind of addictive waiting for the package to come, and then you get to open it up, and like you come home from work and there's that cute little bundle on your porch, and it's very exciting. So yeah, I had to put a kibosh on that because I was getting so much fabric. All right, the next, knits versus wovens. Which do I like to work with the most? At the beginning, I would have 100% said wovens, and then I started making knit and using knit, I should say. And all of a sudden, I'm ending up with comfortable clothing, and yeah, so I really can't pick a favorite. I would have to say both on that one. So tumble versus hang dry. So for the most part, I tumble dry my not dress clothes, but I hang dry like t-shirts that I want to keep nice, that I don't want to shrink up. Because even if you wash and dry them at the beginning, like even the fabric when you first get it, over time things still shrink. And so so the things that fit me well right now, like after I make it, if it's just the right size, like my Lenox top with the bug print, I hang dry that because I don't want it to shrink anymore. If it shrinks anymore, I won't feel comfortable wearing it. So I'll hang dry that. But my shirt that is out of this fabric with the eyelash lace, this is my dress, by the way, my new look dress that I made for the Duran Duran concert. That's what I'm wearing. But anyway, that shirt, it's loose enough that if it shrinks, it actually would probably be better. So I just dry that. So it just depends. Most of the things that I prefer to tumble dry it if I can, because I end up with a lot. I just have a little rod in my laundry room that I hang things from. And pro tip, if you keep the hangers from like Target or Walmart or wherever that you go, and you might get those plastic hangers, instead of throwing them away, you can use them to hang your clothes, to dry them in wherever you hang your clothes at. Okay, sorry, I digress. Last is rotary cutter versus scissors. And I think I'm pretty much a scissors person. The second to last topic area is clothing construction. So it's following the pattern instructions or just winging it. And I am still a follow the pattern instructions person. If I can find a tutorial that shows me how to do it better, I will follow the tutorial, but then I'll go back to the instructions. I might move the instructions around, but I can't just sit down and sew something together without some sort of idea about like you need to do this or that. Bias tape or facings, I don't really care. I am finding though I really like bias tape, and it makes me happy that I have a choice. So serged versus French seams. I have a serger. There it is, right there. Beautiful, right? My mom gave it to me, her sister gave it to her, and it's vintage and it still works, and I have no idea how to use it. Right now I've not had the time to take it somewhere and have it maintained, so it sits there. And on knits I just don't finish the edges, I just kind of clip them back. And on woven, for the things I want to stay nice though, or that I want to keep around, I do French seams. Okay. Button versus zip flies. I like zip flies because they're faster. And Norris Dantifor did a tutorial that I watched on zip flies, and he made it so that they're perfect every time. Hand sewn or machine buttons. I don't know how to do buttons on my machine. I didn't know how to do buttons on my old machine. I've just always sewn what little buttons I had, I sewed by hand. And I've gotten to be able to like figure out the spacing and get them on there relatively quickly. I find I like hand sewing and I enjoy putting on the buttons. Next is fusible versus sewn-in interfacing. I would say fusible because I think that's all I've ever used. Snip as you go or all at once. I am a snip as you go. It drives me crazy, and plus I am afraid that I am going to forget and then be out somewhere and have just all kinds of threads just hanging off me. So snip as you go. And then the next question is press as you go or all at once. Definitely press as you go, because that makes everything so much easier. When you're trying to sew, when you're trying to hem, any of that, take the time. It does take me a little bit longer, I think, but it makes it all look so much nicer. Okay, and then the last is sewing habits. So late night versus daytime sewing. I sew any chance I get. So I'm trying not to sew late, but I am often stopping at 11 o'clock. And then on the weekends I'm sewing whenever I can, but usually I start in the afternoons. Slow and steady versus frantic. And I gotta say, I am a slow and steady person. When I get frantic, everything goes to heck and it does not work. Then last is tidy as you go or one big cleanup. And because I have things in 3 different places in my house, I have what you see behind me. It's a corner in my, I don't know what you would call this room. It's just a room. So this corner where I sew, it's in the basement and it's cold, which is why even though it's 102 degrees outside, I'm wearing a sweater. And then I have my fabrics in the basement, and then I've got some stuff in the family room that's on the other side of this wall. So I have to clean as I go, because otherwise it gets out of control easily. Also, I can't find anything, and every night I have to pick up because the cat will destroy anything that's left out. So I pick up and then I take everything back out when I'm ready to sew again. Does it waste time? Yes, but that's just what I have to do. I'm going to be recording some more videos. I wanted to let you know that it's going to be my pattern haul from this last weekend, and then also the Embrace Lace video. I'm working right into those videos next. So if you are thinking that's something you might be interested in seeing, please subscribe or consider subscribing. And otherwise, thank you to everybody who watched till the bitter end of this video and who have already subscribed, and I will just see you all later. Bye.